Good day everyone, this is Patrick from EasyFX Code Training System, and it's Sunday the 8th of September 2019, and this is the weekly outlook for the second week of September. And let's take a look at the Euro, Cable and Aussie dollar. Let's start with the Euro dollar, and on the daily chart you can see that after almost hitting the 50% retracement of this swing move lower, it has pulled back and closed as a doji on Thursday, and continued slightly lower on the Friday, just below the weekly pivot. If we look at the weekly chart, it's closed as a large spinning top for the week. On a 4-hour time frame, and after trying to hit the 50% retracement level, it has pulled back and spiked through the monthly pivot and pull back below that to close just below the weekly pivot. So there could be further retracement lower to possibly retest the 110 level next week, and there'll be a critical week for the Eurozone next week, as the ECB is set to meet on Thursday, and there could be some key announcements, as the ECB could reintroduce QE, which they had already concluded at the end of last year, and this is due to poor economic outlook, and especially with Germany. Last Friday, their industrial production figures was negative 0.6% versus 0.4% expected value, and this shows that Germany could be heading into a recession soon, and that's a leading nation in the Eurozone. So the ECB may introduce some easing measures. So that will be a key event this Thursday. There are some other minor news throughout the week, but watch out for Thursday night. And moving on to the cable. Last week was a very significant event for the UK politics, especially with Boris Johnson losing a couple of key votes. One, the bill to prevent a no-deal Brexit has moved to the upper house, and it has been approved by the House of Lords on Friday. So it just needs the final seal of approval by the Queen, and it will be passed into law. And the UK Prime Minister also lost the vote to introduce a general election on 15th of October, and it was voted down. So this was a critical week for the UK government and Boris Johnson in particular, as well as losing his majority. So with news of the bill initially being passed through the House of Commons, there's been a recovery, strong recovery following that, and so that the risk of a no-deal Brexit has been alleviated, and that drove the cable all the way up to the daily 55 EMA, and as well as retracement of 62% of this move lower. And after that, it has been a slight retracement. This coming week, there is GDP figures on Monday, and as well as manufacturing production and the UK jobs report on Tuesday. So if we look at the weekly chart, it is basically overall a bullish move and closed near the weekly R1 pivot level. In the 4 time frame, after hitting the 62 Fibonacci retracement level, there's been a retracement. So there could be just a small retracement lower, back down to perhaps the just below the 50% Fibonacci level to within this support zone. So now turn into support. It could be an even deeper retracement. There is a weekly pivot is near the 10 SMA, but we'll see what the new weekly pivot is for next week, and as well as the lower channel trend line here. So we'll see whether there's any further developments in UK politics that could help drive this to break out higher above this next resistance zone at the 122.80 level. The non-farm payroll report on Friday from the US was mixed, with fairly good figures for the unemployment rate and hourly earnings, but the number of jobs added was much lower than expected. So this helped to drive the US dollar lower, but it managed to recover, so it did not drop too significantly. And meanwhile, since the euro and the pound had already reached their technical resistance level, so it was a normal retracement lower. However, as for the Aussie dollar, it has managed to recover as trade tensions eased, and it recovered back to the previous swing low, hit right at the 100% Fibonacci level, and continued further on Friday as the US and China set a date for their next negotiations in October. So this helped to push the Aussie dollar higher to hit the daily 55 EMA and close right there for the week. So it is looking bullish for the Aussie dollar. It's the weekly chart, and it could be a continuation move to try to retest the 0.69 level next, or within this zone at the 78.6 Fibonacci level, just below the 0.69 level. There's no major news for the Australian economy next week. So the only key news from the US is PPI on Wednesday, CPI figures on Thursday, and US retail sales on Friday, towards the second half of the week. Okay, so we'll follow up on Tuesday for our daily analysis, and meanwhile, have a good trading week. Cheers.